Revved up discounts across a huge inventory. Check this out today at MikeThompson.com. That's MikeThompson.com.
Inspired by Southern California's laid-back yet active lifestyle, Travis Mathew creates premium men's and women's apparel designed to make you look and feel your best no matter the activity. Now, Travis Mathew brings that same style to USC fans with their first ever collegiate collaboration. Designed with the iconic cardinal and gold, this collection carries the tradition and legacy of USC. Gear up for game days in style. New customers get 20% off their first order with code 710 at travismathew.com. That's code 710. Offer valid online only.
Accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob.
Winning matters, especially after an accident. At calljacob.com, we're here for you when you need a big win. After an accident, go to calljacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB.
Hi, this is Sean McVay of your LA Rams. The Rams play here. KSPN, Los Angeles.
710 ESPN.
A good karma brands radio station.
Greetings, football fans.
This is the ESPN LA USC Trojan Media Network.
Presented by Pechanga Resort Casino.
Are you ready for some football?
Here we go, Saturday, October 19th, 2024.
You're listening to USC Football, presented by Pechanga Resort Casino.
Our USC Trojans are back on the road, and after the last few weeks, time to get back to winning. It all begins today against those Maryland Terrapins. We count you down to kickoff. USC, Maryland, your Saturday afternoon right now.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff.
This is the Trojan Tailgate Show, presented by Yeti.
Moss wants to throw against the grain. Finds Joyner at the 5. He's in the end zone. That's a touchdown once again for Quentin Joyner. Touchdown USC. And the Trojans on top if they make the extra point.
Brought to you by
Yeti. We make great gear that helps you stay out longer, travel farther, and live harder.
Pechanga Resort Casino, proud partner of USC Football.
Stone Brewing, proud partner of USC Athletics.
And by Smart Stop Self-Storage, the smarter way to store.
Visit smartstop.com to reserve your space today.
Now, here's the Trojan Tailgate Show with Jordan Moore,
Sean Cody, Sua Cravens,
and Cody Kessler.
Hello and welcome to the Trojan Tailgate Show, presented by Yeti. We are live here at CQ Stadium, a new place for us in College Park, Maryland. Getting you set for USC versus Maryland, a Big Ten battle for the Trojans on the road. I am Jordan Moore alongside Sean Cody here in the DMV, and back in Los Angeles, Sua Cravens and Cody Kessler. Sean, we cannot complain about the weather the Big Ten road trips have delivered for us this season. This will be the third road trip, and three absolutely perfect days here, and just another great day for football.
Yeah, this is the one we're kind of worried about. We're getting late in October here. You think you're coming out to Maryland, you might catch some weather here, but just a gorgeous day, not a cloud in the sky.
How are things back in Los Angeles, boys?
It's great. It's amazing. Much better than the DMV, as you know. I am not the fondest of that area, but can't complain.
Are we going to do a retrospective of your career during this broadcast?
It was a lot of cloudy days when I was in the DMV, but real sunny out here in LA where I want to be.
I will say though, the DMV for me was good memories. That was my first ever touchdown pass. Against Sua Cravens, might I add, in the NFL.
Not against me. I wasn't guarding them.
You were on defense that game, so it was against you.
Okay.
Because I know if I would have thrown a pick, you would have said, even if it wasn't you, you would have said our defense got the pick.
We're going to talk about the 3 PBUs I had against you, or we're just going to talk?
It's too early. It's too early. Guys, we're doing great here. We're excited for this game. We're glad you guys are having a good time in the DMV. Sua misses it very much.
Sua broke my heart one time, man. He picked up Eli Manning to win a game against the Giants. That's my
Don't know where that game ball even is these days.
All right, well, let's see who's going to get the game ball here today. Trojans need a win, no doubt about that. They are coming off a gut punch loss to Penn State. It was a great day at the Coliseum, right up until the end. It was just a fantastic college football game. 2 fan bases showed up, and just incredible atmosphere. And it came down to the end, guys. Sean, when we start on the offensive side of the football, it's that running game that continues to show up for USC. and Woody Marks.
Yeah, I still don't know if it's quite a running team. I wouldn't label it as a running team, but I would say it's a running back team, Jordan. These team two really talented running backs. Obviously, Woody Marks with a workman-like day with 20 carries, over 110 yards on the day. So, getting over 5 a pop, just kind of rode him there at the end of the game, was able to pick up a ton of yards. And then Quentin Joyner, obviously, with the big carry, the big trick play, but showed the wheels, got to really open it up on that in that open field and show why he has that running back speed. But, two great running backs. Not quite sure, like I said, if this is a running team that just committed to the run, but I think it really probably maybe 1-2 top weapons are in the running back position.
So what do you say to that? Is this a team with an offensive identity now built around the running game, or are you not there yet?
No, I don't think we're there yet. I think we can be. I think we continuously show week in and week out we are able to run the football, not just with Woody, but with Joyner too. So I think that if we just put a little bit more confidence and trust into the run game and take some of that pressure off Miller earlier in the game, I think that can be our identity and force teams to play from behind because, as we've said all year long, we've kind of been the team trying to play catch-up.
I think the thing that stands out, though, is, at times Lincoln Riley and other coaches from that tree have been criticized for not running the football enough. But what stands out to me, Cody, Woody Marks has had 111 yards last week. That's his 4th 100-yard rushing game in the last 5 games. But the thing that stands out to me is he's one of only 4 Big Ten backs with 100-plus carries. So, it's not just that the running game is explosive. They are, going to it pretty consistently.
Yeah, we've done a good job of sticking with the run, and that's something that's expected, right, when you have a first-year starting quarterback in Miller Moss, and especially in the Big Ten, right? We wanted to make it a point of emphasis that we can come out and run the football. I think the other side of that is our offensive line, as we've seen this year, has struggled in pass protection. Now, I do believe they took a step forward last week, but when you have an offensive line that's lacking some confidence, the best way to build that up is get the run game going, and I think that's why we've seen 101 carries from Woody, and now we've seen 30 from Quentin Joyner as well. We just have to stick with that in crunch time in some of these close games.
And on that 30 carries for Quentin Joyner, he's at 9.8 yards per carry. That is number one in the Big Ten. Cody, I know you want to see more of Joyner, but your point is you want more of Joyner, but not at the expense of Marks.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm okay if we get Joyner more touches, if it takes away from the pass game. Now, you want to get your quarterback in a rhythm. You want to be able to throw the football all over the field. We have some great talent on the perimeter, and Miller Moss is playing well right now. I think when he's in a rhythm, he can play as anybody or play as good as anybody in the conference. But, yeah, I would love for us to get the football to Quentin Joyner more. I would love for even this game. I was talking about on the podcast earlier this week. Let's give Quentin a minimum of 10 touches on the ground. Let's give Woody 20, though. Let's not take touches out of Woody's hand. But overall, I think if we can be a little bit more balanced and even lean, more on the run game in some of these close, games, especially on the road, I think that can help our team, a lot.
Sean, they threw it 34 times last week, 20 of 34 for Miller for 220 and 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. I sort of thought it was maybe his most inconsistent game to this point. He's down to 11th in the Big Ten in passer rating. What do you see from the QB?
Yeah, I just feel like the accuracy struggled last week. I thought there were some throws last week where, he had some guys and possibly in like back shoulder situations or on the sideline, and just seems like a little bit off with those guys, with that sophomore group of wide receivers. Just hasn't really clicked yet. And I think at certain times he's, wants to be perfect with the ball, and I don't know, you can't tell. I mean, Cody probably knows more if it's a quarterback or wide receiver thing, but just seems a little bit off right there in those kind of situations. Probably I kind of about 4 or 5 of those where it's like, man, you got to have those throws that time. Obviously, the one to Deuce Robinson's just a misfire there, off a little bit there, would have been a huge one. But yeah, just the accuracy last week has struggled a little bit for me.
Yeah, had one big one called back to Deuce. That was a holding call. Sua, they haven't really hit on one receiver yet. The chemistry, I wouldn't say that Miller has chemistry sort of with one guy. Is that troubling as a quarterback, you think, to not to necessarily have your go-to guy?
Yeah, but I don't think it's necessarily the receiver's fault as to why he doesn't feel like he has that go-to guy or that safety blanket. We just haven't been able to protect him. I think last week was the exception. We played pretty well last week against probably one of the best defenses we'll play. But, when you're a quarterback trying to get the ball out fast, you're not necessarily looking for that guy to get the ball to. You're just trying to make the best throw, the smartest throw, and to keep the offense in rhythm. But I think the better the O-line will get as time keeps going. I know it's a young O-line, and people are growing impatient because it's almost the middle of the season, or it is the middle of the season. But the more trust that Miller has in his O-line, the longer he has to go through his progressions and start developing that rapport with his receivers. I think Jacoby Lane was that guy earlier, but again, game plans change, and it has to be everybody. It can't just be one guy like it was when we had Caleb here.
And that trust should start to grow a little bit because the offensive line clearly getting better. I think a lot of people were worried about them against Penn State, but they held up fairly well in that game.
It was their best game this year.
Certainly, created some opportunities for sure. The Joint Chiropractic can help ease your pain and keep you moving. To learn more and to claim our $29 new patient special, visit thejoint.com today. Next up, we're going to take a deep dive into the USC defense as the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti.
Hey, Trojan fans. Celebrate every Trojan win and enjoy the sweet taste of victory with a free donut at Ralph's the day after the win. Download your digital coupon from the Ralph's app to score your free donut at any Los Angeles area Ralph's store. It's our way of saying thanks. One free donut per customer with digital coupon available the day after each Trojan victory while supplies last. Ralph's, fresh for everyone and proud partner of USC Athletics. Fight on.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End of friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Trojan fans, you may not think of yourself as an athlete, but everyday life is full of athletic feats. You bend, you reach, you lift, you twist until back, neck, or shoulder pain hits, which brings you to a stop. But whether you're an athlete or not, the Joint Chiropractic can help ease your pain and keep you on the active list. Visit thejoint.com today to get your first consultation, exam, and adjustment for just $29. The Joint Chiropractic, the official chiropractor of the USC Trojans.
It's time to recharge, reconnect, and rediscover your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino. And with your resort favorites back in action, there's all of the excitement and comfort you love with the peace of mind you can depend on. So whenever you're ready for a little rest, a little relaxation, and a lot of fun, we'll be here. Play your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino today.
This is USC football on the home of the Trojans. 710 ESPN and the all-new ESPN LA app. Your destination for LA sports. Fight on!
Ocean views, magical sunsets, a luxury resort like no other. Discover Terranea, located along the stunning Palos Verdes Peninsula in Southern California. Book your getaway to Terranea now at terranea.com. When you've got good beer and good vibes, it's all Buenas. Stone Buena Vesa Salt and Lime Lager is Baja-inspired, imported from San Diego, located near you at findoutstonebrewing.com. Back live in the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti. Shouting out our YouTube audience. Been a fun part of something we've added to the road games this year. You got sort of a Skycam look of Sean and I here in this tight little booth on the road.
Some say it's my best angle.
Well, it's at least we're not like bald spot guys here. We're covering it up. We're doing all right up there still. So hanging on. And,
minimize the double chin from this angle. That's what my kids tell me.
You got that's true. Always shoot from on high. That definitely covers that. And I think you can see the guys back at the studio as well. We're going to talk defense here, and all season we have praised the defensive adjustments at halftime. A team's been a slow starting team and then come out and play great. It flipped against Penn State. In the first half, USC allowed just 6 points, and in the second half, they allowed 24. So what flipped, Sean?
Yeah, the air game got going for Penn State. Drew Aller was in that offense was held in check that first half. Defense did a good job, not a great job, but held them to 3 points on 2 occasions, just giving up 6 points in the first half. And then second half just came out and really just couldn't match up with guys. This looked like a lot of guys lost, whether it was Tyler Warren out there coming free for 44 or, just wide receivers coming open. Just seemed like that air game really opened up. And obviously a big attention thing for the Trojans all year has been the lack of pass rush, and that really showed up. And before you knew it was a tie ball game, and they put 2 scores up real quick, and it just turned into a different ball game of that. So it just came out slow in halftime, and it's not something that Dan Lynn's defense has done this year.
Yeah, that's what it was, too. It was really those first, for me at least, those first 2 drives of the third quarter, because all of a sudden it was like all that work you put in the first half just evaporated in a very short period of time.
Yeah, and I said it a few times last week. Penn State was too good of a team to remain stagnant and allow USC to build a lead and not do anything about it. You know, they had the high-powered offense, especially going in the second half. More respect to their quarterback. I didn't think Drew could spin it like he was doing it. He played really well in the second half, and the running game picked up. But it was their defense that really stepped it up in the second half. I feel like we got conservative and started clock watching, and the defense took advantage of that. And USC, I mean, it seemed like we flipped our script. It seemed like we went from playing slow in the first and getting after it in the second, and then we played fast in the first and then kind of took our foot off the pedal in the second, and that came back to bite us.
Looking at Drew Aller, the Penn State quarterback, Cody, did you feel like he just started making plays and he raised his level, or did you feel like USC's level dipped defensively?
Yeah, no, I thought Aller played well, and I'm with Sue on that. You know, he hasn't really shown that he can go out there and win you a football game with his arm, and he did that, just that. And I thought our DBs had played well this year. I know they haven't been tested, you know, to that extent to where they have a team come out and throw for 400 yards, but I thought we played well, especially in the LSU game. We made some great halftime adjustments there against Kyron Lacey, and we kind of, you know, shut down Garrett Nussmeier in the second half. But yeah, I thought Aller played great. The biggest thing for me too on that turnaround coming out in the second half was they started getting those explosive plays. And when you're an offense that's struggling and you start seeing those big plays, you know, it gives you that confidence that you were lacking. They had, you know, the first two drives of the second half, 19, 13, 32 yards, 25 yards. 34 yards, 16 yards, and as a defense, now you feel like you're on your heels. We did a good job in the red zone, made some good stops down there, but yeah, Aller started, you know, seeing some big plays open up down the field, and Tyler Warren was the guy he was going to.
Stop saying his name.
You know, we couldn't get it stopped.
Yeah, I'm going to say the name Tyler Warren again, Tua. I mean,
have to.
It was terrible flashbacks of 2 years ago. Dalton Kincaid, and I brought you up live on the broadcast last week because I remember all your reactions to the Kincaid thing, which was you put it on the players of saying, like, man, at some point somebody has to take some responsibility and say, I am going to go guard that guy. You know, USC was in a lot of zone coverage at times, and that was exploited by Warren. But what did you see? I mean, obviously this is a different defensive coordinator and a lot of different defensive personnel than 2 years ago. So it's really only the fans that suffered that flashback. But what did you see from this guy? Just put up really record numbers.
Well, it's not even really the defensive play calling because there were coverage busts. There were just guys missing and not in where they're supposed to be, and then he leaks out, and we got bad eyes. Our eyes in the backfield, and he sneaks out, and he's open for 40 yards. Like about 2 or 3 of his catches, he had 145 yards on 2 or 3 of those catches just off busted coverage. So you can't have those chunk plays. We saw that last year, that bend but don't break. We couldn't have that against a team as good as Penn State. But at some point, you put your best player, your best coverage safety on their tight end, and you hope that's enough. Like, I know when I say it all the time, and it's not to toot my own horn. Like, I'm dead serious. When me and Cody were on the team, if they ever had a tight end that was a receiver body, it was 21, you got him. End of the game plan, next up. It wasn't this big, science experiment to figure out how we're going to stop this guy. I feel like we could have put Kamari on him, man, and just let him rock out the whole game. But for a tight end to have 17 catches, 2 bills, like Robert Woods' numbers is ridiculous.
Well, I asked Sean this, though, on Trojans Live, so I'm curious your opinion, but how do you stick with him when he's playing center? And then he's playing running back, and then he's playing quarterback, and then he's playing offensive lineman. How do you stick with him the entire game and not lose, other responsibilities?
But those
when
are
you're going
keys that like 44 is a guy. He's a guy they want to get the ball to. It's like when we put Zach in the backfield, or we put him in laser motion, or we put him in jet sweep. He's getting the ball. We don't know where he's going to go, but we know he's getting the ball. If I see 44 at center, I'm immediately alerted. Trick play. If we have to drop Tampa 2 to stop this trick play and give up an 8-yard out, then so be it. But it's like keys and tips you see on film that you should know. He's getting the ball.
Well, look at Adoree Jackson. I know Jordan, Sean, Sue, you guys remember that. There were times Adoree Jackson would come in the game, and you think everyone would key on him, and then he goes 70 against Arizona State, and then he has a walk-in touchdown against Notre Dame. And I'm getting carried away here a little bit, sorry. But, no, this is good talk, but I'm with you on that. We can't let one player just dictate the outcome of the game.
No, it's true, and it happened. I mean, there's no doubt. But at the same time, you mentioned the red zone defense, Cody. It did keep him in the game. Penn State had 6 red zone trips, 2 touchdowns USC allowed, but only 4 field goals. And you could say, hey, you can't play bend, don't break and survive against Penn State. But they did. They go down and kick a winning field goal on that last drive, Sean. They almost did. We'd be sitting here talking about how they red zone saved them, and they went out and took it at the end.
Yeah, unfortunately, you look at the defensive mistakes. I think more you see those 4th down inabilities where they're so close.
2 chances to get off the field there late.
Yeah, Yeah, you see, Jamil Muhammad running free on a clean blitz look. You inability to cover a little in route on the end with John Humphrey. So, Drew Aller made some plays, credit to them, but the defense also had some ability, some chances there, some opportunities to finish that one off and just couldn't get it done.
Yeah, I thought that first one, the fourth down, sometimes you do have to tip your cap. I thought that kid made a great hands catch. Yeah. Humphrey was all over his arms. Kid made a play, but that 4th and 10, that was the one that, man, that'll stick with you. And Trojans had the right play dialed up. Yeah, just did not get off the field on that one. So it was so close, but yet so far kind of game for the Trojans. All right, when we come back, we hear the offensive game plan for this week. This is the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti.
Tommy Trojan is at the 10, the 5, touchdown, USC! Make big plays on the field and in life. With iTrust Capital, you can buy and sell crypto 24/7 with the tax benefits of a retirement account. That's right, invest in crypto with the tax advantages of an IRA. iTrust Capital is easy to use and has no sign-up fees. Don't be a Monday morning quarterback. Make big plays now. Visit itrustcapital.com/USC to start investing today. The official cryptocurrency platform of the USC Trojans. Taxes and conditions may apply. Fees apply. Cryptocurrencies are a speculative investment.
Hi, it's Hannah, and welcome to the HannahCast. Today, Piggy Bank's gonna fuel our episode with questions about Arco rewards. Yep, earn up to $7 in rewards at sign-up. Uh-huh, and 5 cents on every gallon. Sounds pretty sensible, if you ask me. Oh, all this savings talk making you hungry? Here you go. Learn how to earn at arcorewards.com.
Offer valid until October 31st, 2024. By entering your phone number, you're agreeing to receive recurring automated informational and marketing SMS, MMS messages from Marathon. Consent not required for purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Invesco QQQ is the official ETF partner of the USC Trojans. The future isn't scary. Not realizing its potential, however, could be. To build a championship team, you don't just look at what you've got. You have to realize the potential of each recruit, transfer, and prospect. Only by seeing the potential of one player do you make the team its strongest. Let's rethink possibility. Invesco Distributors, Inc.
No matter what you're looking for in a non-alcoholic beer, there's only one name that has it all. Athletic Brewing Co. Full flavor? It's athletic. Huge variety? It's athletic. Award-winning styles you can get online, at the bar, or the grocery store? It's athletic. In fact, when it comes to amazing non-alcoholic beer, there's no question. It's athletic. Ask for it and find out. Go to askforathletic.com to find your closest retailer today. Near Beer.
You're listening to USC football on the home of the Trojans. 710 ESPN. Fight on.
Trojan fans, you can listen to USC football and all the biggest college football and basketball games on the TuneIn app, free internet radio, and celebrate every Trojan win. Enjoy the sweet taste of victory with a free donut at Ralph's. The day after the win, download your digital coupon from the Ralph's app to score your free donut at any Los Angeles area Ralph's store. Need to get back in the donut game this week. USC taking on Maryland here in a little bit. Cody Kessler talked earlier this week to the tight ends coach, Zach Hansen. This is the offensive game plan.
The USC Trojans offensive game plan is brought to you by DirecTV.
Stream the Trojans all season long on DirecTV without a satellite dish.
What's up, Trojan fans? Cody Kessler here for your offensive game plan, and I'm joined by tight end coach Zach Hansen. Coach, how's it going?
Everything's good, man. Appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. Coach, a guy that had a larger role in the absence of Lake McCree is Cade Eldridge. I thought he has played some really good football this year. What have you seen from Cade, not only since Lake has been out, but his performance as a whole this season?
Yeah, really proud of Cade, man. He's done a really good job coming in and just stepping up into that role, something he's been working at extremely hard for the past year. And so it's one of those deals where your number gets called and you get your opportunity to step up and show what you can do.
Coach, another guy that has had to grow up really quickly this year is freshman Walker Lyons. How has he developed since he first stepped foot on campus to now having a bigger role in this offense?
Yeah, I think about a guy that's been here for like 4 months to come in and be able to contribute in a positive way is really hard to do. Obviously a little bit older guy, having coming off the mission and that type of thing, but really mature for his age and a talented person that we're really excited to get back on the field.
Talking with tight end coach Zach Hansen. Coach, last one from me. This is a solid Maryland defense. They really excel at the safety position when you watch the film, which is a great challenge for your guys. What's the message to your group as they get ready for a tough conference road game this week?
Just execution and consistency across the board. You know, we've been pushing our guys really hard that we don't have to make any of the crazy plays. We just have to make the regular ones over and over and over again. And so just continuing to play well as a group and then as an offense together as a team and just keep putting together drives.
Coach, thanks for joining us, and good luck on Saturday. For Coach Hansen, I'm Cody Kessler, and this has been your offensive game plan. Fight on.
Well, the season started, and the tight end was the focal point of this passing game with Lake McCree, but this is where personnel sometimes is more important than scheme, Sean, because ever since Lake went down in that Michigan game, there have been a total of 3 catches made by the tight end. Is there anything that they can do there? Do you think they need to go back and try these younger players and see if they can force feed them the ball, or just you continue to shift the offense away?
Not necessarily. If Lincoln Riley's not comfortable going to Walker Lyons and Kate Eldridge, there's probably a reason, and I would try to develop even stronger, more attempts with Deuce, maybe more attempts with Big Jacoby. So those might be your more tight end options. I mean, Lake McCree coming into it, off to a phenomenal start. Unfortunately, he takes that injury, and hopefully he'll be back. It sounds like maybe next week. So we'll see what happens with him. But I don't think you necessarily got to force it to those guys if it's not something that this offense is comfortable with.
So I do think they need to force it a little bit to number 8, Jacoby Lane. I've been pretty consistent on this point that I think he is the most talented wide receiver on this roster. He goes out there and has 10 catches for 105 yards against Wisconsin, 2 touchdowns. We're on Trojans Live doing over-unders about, he's going to have 10 touchdowns this season, all this other stuff. I can't even remember what the number was, and everyone said over, no big deal. Well, since then, he's had a total of 4 catches for 31 yards and no touchdowns. So, to me, it's like, where's Jacoby Lane gone?
Well, a part of it is also protecting Miller because, Jacoby's at his best at routes past 5 to 8 yards, and he's at his best when he can extend the coverage and get a one-on-one with the corner. So you got to protect in order for Miller to stand in the pocket and to do that. But when you are the best receiver, when you are the most talented receiver, and Cody knows this better than anyone, that safety is going to start leaning over to your side. You're going to start getting a double team. Even if you're not technically getting doubled, just that pre-shell look of having a safety on that near hash to your number 1 receiver is a little discouraging for a quarterback to try to throw into, especially if you have pressure coming off the back end. So I think it's a little mix of both, of not getting Jacoby the necessary amount of targets, but also not being able to protect Miller so that we can get the ball to our best playmaker. Because, again, Jacoby, after 10 yards, nobody in this conference can guard him.
Cody, there's been so much talk about getting Zachariah going. If you wanted to sort of force feed to be like, hey, we need to game plan to get somebody going, would it be Jacoby or would it be Zachariah?
It's a tough one right now because it feels like every week someone new in this wide receiver core becomes that wide receiver 1, right? Kyron Hudson has done it a couple of times, especially the first game. Then the Wisconsin game, Jacoby jumps up. Deuce has made some big plays. Last week, Mekhi Lemon, I thought, was the best receiver for the day. So it's tough to figure out who you really game plan for going, ahead this year if you're Lincoln Riley, if you're this offensive staff. But overall, whoever it is needs to step up quick. It's tough because each week we say we love Miller spreading the football around. We love that it's tough. They can't key on one player, but you want to have, especially as a quarterback, that go-to guy. I can't tell you how comfortable I felt in games when things got tough and I didn't, the offensive line struggled a little bit when I had Nelson Aguilar that I know was going to catch the football against Cal for 15 of them. Then I know I have Juju Smith-Schuster another time. And then Marquise Lee, guys that I knew that they were going to be ready when those big moments happen. We just really haven't had that guy step up. So it's a great question, Jordan.
Marquise last?
Well, I mean, I was going through who I played with the most. I only got a year with Keese, but no, I mean, the Stanford game, he made that heroic catch. But those are those situations right now I feel like we lack the receiver position of in those got-to-have-it crunch moments. And I know it could have been Deuce last week and Miller missed, and his accuracy's been a little off, but it felt so comfortable as a quarterback to know that I could go to Marquise or Nelson or Juju in those tough situations.
Sean, that was like presidential debate show, man.
Yeah.
Cody answered somebody's question. It wasn't mine.
On this fence all day. I'm not taking one of those guys.
I don't know. It was it's an answer to something. I don't know what it was.
Well, at this point, I say all that to say your guess is as good as mine. I mean, obviously, I'd love for it to be Jacoby. I'd love Zachariah to get going. But at this point, I just really don't know who that guy's going to be that we're going to game plan for.
Sean, you're done.
I would have said Zachariah. I think that we're midpoint in the season here, and we haven't really seen this guy get going, and we've been waiting kind of all season. Yeah, he had some good plays against Michigan, but just haven't been the expected season to what we thought Zachariah was going to be, and I think today's an opportunity, and maybe a little forecasting for the player game from the old Sean Cody pick.
Let's see if we can get some more definitive answers on the defensive side of the football in the next segment. We got Doug Bell coming on. This is the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti.
When you've got good beer and good vibes, it's all Buena. Introducing Stone Buenavesa Salt and Lime Lager. Brewed with real lime and a touch of sea salt, this insanely refreshing Baja-inspired lager is perfect for celebrating the good life with good people. Imported from San Diego to wherever you are in 6-packs, 12-packs, and on draft. Find Buenavesa near you using the beer finder at find.stonebrewing.com and show how you live Buena on Instagram at Live Buena.
USC Trojan fans, SmartStop Self Storage is ready for game day. SmartStop Self Storage is committed to making the self-storage experience easy and hassle-free for all Trojan fans. Whether you're storing your Trojans tailgate gear, need temporary storage while moving to a new home, or need a storage solution for your business, we're here for you with convenient locations throughout Southern California. SmartStop Self Storage, the smarter way to store. Visit smartstop.com to reserve your space today. Fight on. Fight on.
We are Life Law, where we make injury law simple. We have 2 simple goals for all of our clients: full medical recovery and ultimately full monetary compensation. We understand that it can be overwhelming to face the uncertainty in the wake of an accident. We will be there with you at each step in the legal and healthcare process. You will pay nothing unless we win your case. Dial 1-800-LYFE-LAW or check us out at lyfe.com. Life Law, official sponsors of USC Athletics.
At Audi, expectations matter. It's why what's standard on every Audi SUV are features that exceed yours. How we get there matters. The Audi family of SUVs. Progress you can feel.
Don't let someone else drive off in the Audi model you've always wanted. Visit your Southern California Audi dealer to get behind the wheel of yours today. Or visit SoCalAudiDealers.com for more information. This is USC football on the home of the Trojans. 710 ESPN and the all-new ESPN LA app. Your destination for LA sports. Fight on!
Back in Maryland, this is the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti. It's time now for this week's defensive game plan.
The USC Trojans defensive game plan is brought to you by LifeLaw.
Injury law made simple.
I'm here with DB coach Doug Belk. Coach, this is the defensive game plan going into a big week versus Maryland. But first, let's rewind to last week, Penn State. Obviously, a tough loss, Coach. Defense played good at times. Tell us about what happened last week.
Overall, I thought we competed well, and I think they did some stuff to attack us in a bunch of different ways. I thought our kids handled it really well. At the end of the day, we've been in position to make some plays, and as a secondary coach, and I'm sure the rest of our defensive coaches feel the same way. We got to be a little bit more diligent and detailed in some of those big moments. I thought we had a chance to get off the field on 2 third downs and 2 fourth downs, and we didn't make those plays at the end of the game. So we got to continue to progress, and we have to, find that killer instinct to finish those moments and be competitive and be the best when our best is needed in those situations.
Coach, talk about your group this year a little bit. We've seen a lot of rotation on the back end. We've seen some injuries back there. What's it been like for your group, and how have you assessed their play so far?
Really proud of the group. We kind of gelled together, a bunch of guys coming together. And we had a chance to, go through training camp, added a few more guys this summer. I think it's a lot of competitive depth in the room. I think a couple guys separated themselves from the end of training camp and how they played, throughout the beginning of the season, the first part of the season. At the safety position, primarily Kamari and Akili starting off the season, but we've been able to play a bunch of different guys. Zion's done well. Shaw's got in and provided some competitive depth and, building new packages, and Kamari's playing some nickel. We're moving on the field, the boundaries, so he could try to find some ways, to impact the game. Achille had an injury that opened up the door for a lot of guys to be able to play. Jalen has been very consistent at corner, the way that he's played, from a physicality standpoint, as well as covering people on the perimeter. Really proud of Jacoby, how he started the game. He's been a little bit beat up, so it's opened a window. John Humphrey, played Greedy Vance at corner, played DeCarlos Nicholson, played Prophet Brown. So continue to rotate those guys, give everybody a role, try to create some competitive depth. And, even though we're in the middle of the season, love to see those guys still compete, and how you practice and prepare has a lot to do with how we, rotate guys in the back end. And we're fortunate that we have some guys with some experience to put in those situations as we go down the stretch.
Coach, we've talked a lot about Kamari Ramsey this part in the season. He's done a lot of great stuff, but I think a guy who's kind of gone under the radar maybe is
the job Jalen Smith has done. Really physical, like you said. You mentioned in that run game, he comes up and fills it. In the screen game, he's been fantastic. Good on coverage. Talk about what Jalen Smith. Switching roles from that nickel position to that corner position, and what he's provided you guys this year.
Yeah, just awesome dude, full of energy, compete.
Always smiling too.
Always ready to compete. And I think that's what, sets him apart from a lot of guys, not just on our team, but in the country. He has the ability to play all 5 positions. His experience playing safety, playing nickel, has given us a lot of flexibility with our personnel because we could always use him in a bunch of different ways. We just haven't really been forced to with the growth of some guys, at the other positions, Greedy Vance, Zion Brands, being able to play Kamari in multiple positions. And, with some of the schemes that we've been facing, when we made the move with him, is for a lot of reasons of what you see in this league. Corners have to tackle a lot of crack replace, a lot of perimeter run game, and he's handled that extremely well. So really proud of him and his development, especially from a technique and discipline standpoint, not being on that island as much, mostly playing nickel and safety for the majority of his career. So I think he's done a really good job of accepting coaching. He wants to be coached. He wants to be great. And I think he's going to continue to get better as the season progresses.
Coach, another big road game, another chance for you guys to go across the country on a long trip and show how the Trojans could do it. What do you see from this Maryland team? Obviously, they got 2 talented wide receivers who get a ton of catches. What's the game plan against those guys?
Yeah, I think for us it's another great challenge. Each and every week is kind of different. You start off the season with a lot of ground and pound, and didn't really get stressed vertically a lot. Starting off the season, every week has kind of progressed in things that we've seen in the past game, and this week will be a really good challenge. And if you look at their receiving core, that's probably the strength of their offense. They have a lot of guys with experience. They have length, they have speed. They get a lot of targets, on a vertical pass game as well as the RPO. So we have to be honed in on that and play with great technique. And we have to outcompete and outwork those guys on the perimeter. And that's really what the game is going to come down to. And then obviously, us being able to tackle in space and, with all the screen game and the RPOs, I think that's going to be one of the keys to the game. And, whoever's available and whoever's up, they have to have the same goal and we have to play with the same mentality. But I think our guys are, excited to get back to work this week after a tough loss last week. And the situation is all the same. And I think, Maryland probably feels a lot like we do as far as where they're at in the season and what they want to be able to accomplish. So I think it's going to be a good game. It's going to be very competitive. And we have to be able to match their intensity on the road after a long trip to go out and compete at a high level to come away with the win.
A small known fact about Coach Doug Belk is that he's a pizza aficionado. Coach likes to travel everywhere and eat the best pizza. Coach, what makes a great pizza?
Man, I think it's, the toppings are one thing, but I think, a certain level of crispy, it can't,
there you go.
I don't like the floppy pie. You know what I mean? I need a little bit of crisp.
It's got to hold up, right?
It's got to hold up. So, we gotta find a crispy pizza here in LA and find out. I like the thin pizza better than the deep dish. So
okay,
I'll dabble in both, but if I had to, I like the thin crust.
Well, Coach, I might know a spot for you. We might have to get you out to the spot here. That's going to be our defensive game plan with DB's coach and pizza aficionado, Coach Doug. Coach, thanks, and fight on, bud.
All right, thank you. Fight on.
All right, back live with the pizza chef Sean Cody and the guys back at the studio. Sua, interesting the way we're using our safeties. It feels to me like, hey, let's just get our best 11 guys on the field, and Zion Branch is starting to creep his way into the best 11. What are you seeing from the way they're utilizing Zion with Kamari and Akili, the last couple weeks?
Our safeties are basically linebackers. Our safeties are basically replacing the linebackers in open space, which is fine depending on the team. But normally when you look at a stat sheet and if your DBs are their leading tacklers, that means your defense is getting up a lot of plays and giving up a lot of chunk plays. But that's not the case with this defense. I think Coach Lynn likes his athletes in space. He likes physical tacklers. We've seen Kamari. He comes downhill and with aggression and physicality, but I love watching Zion play. How Zion tackles in open space and finishes. He has a mean streak to him, and that's a guy that you can play quarters coverage with. We like to play quarters. We just got to get a little better with our quarters linebackers, but so far our safeties, when it comes to run fits and tackling, I love how physical they are.
I'm glad you like Zion Branch because he's coming up next on the show. Old Dominion Freight Line is the official freight carrier of USA Athletics, helping the world keep promises, ready to take it to the next level. Unleash the beast this college tailgate season with Monster Energy. Tear into a can of the meanest energy drink on the planet, Monster Energy. Unleash the beast. Our Impact matchup is next with Zion Branch and the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti.
Hi, it's Hannah, and welcome to the Hannah Cast. Today, Piggy Bank's gonna fuel our episode with questions about Argo rewards. Yep, earn up to $5 in rewards at sign up. Uh-huh, and 5 cents on every gallon. Sounds pretty sensible, if you ask me. Oh, all this savings talk making you hungry? Here you go. Learn how to earn at arcorewards.com.
By entering your phone number, you're agreeing to receive recurring automated informational and marketing SMS, MMS messages from Marathon. Consent not required for purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
You want a sub stacked high with meat and cheese? You go to Jersey Mike's. You want an off-the-charts radio idea? You go to me. Like this. I'm a grizzled cowboy. The sheriff doesn't like the look of me. He challenges me to a duel. We draw, and bang, I go down. But the Jersey Mike sub in my pocket, stacked with layers of meat and cheese, saves me. Everyone cheers. I'm the new sheriff. And I renamed the town Fresh Slicington. Subs always stacked high. Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Tommy Trojan is at the 10, the 5, touchdown, USC! Make big plays on the field and in life. With iTrust Capital, you can buy and sell crypto 24/7 with the tax benefits of a retirement account. That's right, invest in crypto with the tax advantages of an IRA. iTrust Capital is easy to use and has no sign-up fees. Don't be a Monday morning quarterback. Make big plays now. Visit itrustcapital.com/USC to start investing today. The official cryptocurrency platform of the USC Trojans. Taxes and conditions may apply. These apply. Cryptocurrencies are a speculative investment.
Jake from State Farm. I'm winning. I finally cleaned my house, so I'm breaking out my new tropical room spray.
Keep winning and create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. It's like your own personal paradise.
Ooh, hey, grab me a coconut water.
Bundling, just another way to save with a personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
You're listening to USC football on the home of the Trojans. 710 ESPN. Fight on.
Don't let someone else drive off in the Audi model you've always wanted. Visit your Southern California Audi dealer to get behind the wheel of yours today, or visit SoCalAudiDealers.com for more information. Introducing Celaya Tequila, brought to you by USC football legends Matt and Ryan Khalil. Celebrate your story with a homegrown spirit. Celaya Tequila. Back in Maryland, Sua teased it nicely. This week's Impact matchup is Zion Branch. Here he is, our conversation earlier this week.
The USC Impact matchup of the week is brought to you by Invesco QQQ.
Invesco QQQ. Explore with Invesco QQQ. Fight on.
Fight on.
Now,
time for this week's
matchup of the week.
Time for this week's Impact matchup, and I've got Zion Branch with me now. Zion, thanks for joining us, man. A tough game to come off of. How did the team respond at practice this week?
Shoot, Coach Riley came in on Monday and got everybody's mind right for, coming off and, just really expressing that, we really got a lot to play for the second half of the season. We really just kind of go out there, and everybody just kind of keep playing, you know what I'm saying? It might not go our way each and every week, but, we're going to try to go out there and keep playing the best of our ability and just keep getting better and go 1-0 every week.
Tough matchup last week. You had to play against one of the best tight ends in the country. You certainly made some plays out there. He certainly did as well. What's the lesson learned when you're going up against one of the best tight ends in the country?
I feel like, when you go against the best, it's going to bring the best out of both of us. I feel like, like you said, he made some good plays. I made some good plays, but I do like, going against the best players. I do feel like, that's when the best comes out of me. I look forward to go against guys like that in the future. But, I credit to him having a record day for him, but I love going against the best. So I feel like iron sharpens irons in those type of situations.
It's just great seeing you out there, man. I know it has been kind of an unlucky start to your career at USC. How are you feeling? And, what's it been like finally being able to get some consistent snaps in you week in and week out?
It feels good. Long time coming, a lot of hard work behind the scenes that, nobody saw. I just try to go out there and, play the best of my ability and, revert back to all my training and all the preparation I did. So, it's really just a blessing to be back out there playing. And, but yeah, I'm feeling great, body feeling great, best I ever felt. So, just trying to keep getting better and, trying to keep going each and every week.
We're going into the second half of the season. This defense is clearly improved. Where can it get even better? Where do you guys want to grow? Where do you think this unit can take off in the second half of the season?
Dude, I just feel like in every aspect, I feel like, we can just, execute better and eliminate some of the big plays that we've been giving up. I do feel like we've been headed in the right direction, but obviously there's stuff to clean up. But, yeah, I feel like we just got to start eliminating the big plays.
All right, the next test is Maryland, Zion Branch, and the Trojans will be ready here today. That is this week's Impact Matchup.
Thank you to Zion Branch. And, Sean, there are some really exciting young players on this defense. I put a list of 4 guys that have graded out well in our little pregame doc here. But, feel free to choose from the board and you guys back in the studio. But give me one player whose future you're fired up about right now on the defensive side.
Well, I'm going to talk about defensive line. I'll let those other guys talk about the back end maybe. But Jide Abasiri, I think he's they've got him a ton of reps, Jordan. He's been in there a lot of times in some crunch time positions. So that means that Coach Henderson and Coach Newell, they believe in this guy. They can, trust him in certain abilities. I've seen some great explosion from him. He gets off the ball really well, makes penetration up the field. That's the way I think our defensive tackles have struggled with, is getting up the field. And I think he can be a component that can get at the field, win some one-on-one. So I'd like to see him out there some more, making some big plays for this D-line.
So give me a player.
I like Desmond Stevens. He had a pick last week. He's a young, athletic linebacker. Just what you need in this type of defense. And if we're going to go quarters or put our linebackers in space, matching 2, matching 3, they're going to have to tackle and triangle tackle with 5 or 10 yards of space. He seems like a kid that's eager to get to the football. He has a nose for it. He can make plays. And the spotlight wasn't too big for him. It doesn't get much bigger than playing a top 5 team at home in one of the best conferences in football, and he impressed me last week.
Cody?
Yeah, I'm sticking with D-line with Sean. I'm going Cameron Fountain. I thought he's played some good football this year. He's shown some flashes of how good he can be. I'm excited for him to get some more opportunities. But whoever it is out of these young players, they're going to have to step up quickly and grow up quick with Anthony Lucas and Eric Gentry out right now. So I'm excited to keep an eye on some of these young guys.
Yeah, as you mentioned, there have been some big injuries the last couple of weeks, which means more young guys are going to play here today and going forward. Keely Yours, of course, the 5th member of our on-air team on the Trojan Tailgate show, and she is down there somewhere on the sideline. How's it going down there, Keely?
It's going well. It's a beautiful day today, like you guys started the show. It's nice so far.
Yeah, we got some fall weather here in Maryland. Keely, do you have a fan question for us?
I do. I have our weekly Victory Pod question. It comes from Mr. Ashcraft, who said, how much does a cross-country trip impact the team, and how best do you prepare for it?
Well, it impacts Sean a lot, so why don't we start with you?
Yeah, I hate it. I don't know if you guys get that feeling from me, but these trips are rough, guys. It's a long day. Yesterday it seemed like we left in the morning, and we actually Lincoln changed up the schedule this week, so we left a little bit later than we had on some of these previous trips. But it's still just a long day. You leave in the morning, you get here at night, you barely have time to eat dinner and go to bed. So a long day for the Trojans here. These Big Ten road trips have been tough on the big fella so far, Jordan.
You guys obviously both played in the NFL. You live this life. I feel like NFL teams, for the most part, they come out 2 days early, or typically they only come out the day before?
Well, it depends. If you have an owner like Dan Snyder, you save as much money as you can and fly the day before and leave the same day. So you never know. But when you play for a great owner, you get about 2 days to get acclimated. You get a little sleep in, get a little walkthrough before the game. But I wasn't blessed to have both. So, yeah, I feel Sean on that.
Of all of Sua's takes, I think criticizing Dan Snyder is probably the least controversial.
I'm valid on this one. I am justified.
Yes, I think that opinion is fairly unanimous. Certainly in this neck of the woods. Cody, these long trips. I mean, basically it's like every road game is at Notre Dame, right? So I mean, you guys went through it there, and did you feel like it affected you in those games?
I mean, we would go on Thursdays, to Sue's point. Going 2 days early, I think, can help, get your legs back under you, especially going from west to east. You lose 3 hours, so you can catch up on your sleep schedule and all of that. But you do sacrifice something back home, too, right? Your Thursday practice, your red zone practice, you don't get to go as in-depth with that. You miss some of the meetings. And the next day, on Friday, you're doing your meetings and your walkthrough in a conference room at a hotel or in a ballroom. So it's tough to get out on the field. But, yeah, I mean, it's tough. I'm torn. Whether going 2 days
on a Thursday when we played Boston College?
Yes, when we would go East Coast, we would leave on Thursdays, yes, when we were playing.
Boston College we did, but I think it was during Sark when they switched the Notre Dame trip and it started going on Fridays instead of Thursdays.
We would go.
I think it was actually during your career that they switched it.
I know
you were there.
We
Do you
had
remember
to have
that?
an extra
She
day
doesn't want.
because
Schedule memories with the guy.
Well, no, I know for
We can
maybe,
think about
and
that.
Jordan, you could be right though. It could be sophomore year we went on a Thursday, and then with Sark our
Yeah, I
junior
think-
year
I
or
think
senior
that-
year.
yep.
Okay, there you
Might
go. But
be.
either way, like I said, there's some sacrifice with both. You know, you're either going to miss some time back at home, and your walkthrough and all that is going to be different, or you're going to lose a little bit of sleep, and it's going to be tough to get caught back up on one day.
Business trip, get in, get out.
Here's my take. It's going to be a 5.5-hour flight home after this, no matter what, win or lose. So you might as well win the game. You flew all
Love
this
it.
way. You might as well get it done. The opponent today, the Maryland Terrapins. We'll talk about them next. It's the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti.
You sit in traffic now, but later, there's an ice-cold reward. Modelo, the mark of a fighter. You've earned this rich golden lager with a crisp, refreshing taste. Because you know, all your patience is paid out in gold. You remain calm through honks, bumper to bumper, and people yelling. Come on, move! You are a fighter, and Modelo is your reward. Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Drink responsibly. Beer imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
It's time to recharge, reconnect, and rediscover your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino. And with your resort favorites back in action, there's all of the excitement and comfort you love with the peace of mind you can depend on. So whenever you're ready for a little rest, a little relaxation, and a lot of fun, we'll be here. Play your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino today.
Love staying ahead of the game with the latest tech? Meet Helium Mobile, the first phone carrier powered by the people. Experience coverage from the nation's largest 5G network and a network built by people like you. For just $20 a month, get unlimited talk, text, and data. Plus, earn crypto for contributing to the network, which you can use to pay your phone plan. Whether you're a USC Trojans fan, student, employee, or just trying to save a buck on your phone bill, Helium Mobile is for you. Make the switch today at HelloHelium.com. Fight on.
USC Football and Children's Hospital Los Angeles continue to support the pediatric needs of our community. For over 120 years, CHLA has been at the forefront of providing exceptional medical care for children across California. Recognized by U.S. News and World Report as the #1 children's hospital in California, CHLA has consistently ranked among the top national hospitals and has been on the honor roll of best children's hospitals since its inception. Whether it's routine care or life-saving treatment, families trust CHLA for its world-class pediatric care. To learn more, visit chla.org today.
This is USC football on the home of the Trojans. 710 ESPN and the all-new ESPN LA app. Your destination for LA sports. Fight on!
Hey, Trojan fans, celebrate every Trojan win and enjoy the sweet taste of victory with a free donut at Ralph's the day after the win. Download your digital coupon from the Ralph's app to score your free donut at any Los Angeles area Ralph's store. If you're eating donuts, it's because the Trojans beat Maryland this week. That is this week's opponent for this week's Scouting Report.
It's time for the Scouting Report, brought to you by Stone Brewing, proud partner of USC Athletics.
Now we're going to help you get to know today's opposing team.
Sean, the head coach for the Maryland Terrapins is Mike Loxley, and it has been a mostly a struggle for him here. 32-36 overall at Maryland, 15-35 in the conference. But that is not unique to this program. This is, I guess, a basketball school that has always struggled to just sort of get it going consistently in football.
Yeah, never really an identification calling card for a Maryland Terrapin team that you don't really think about. It's hard to think about a lot of things. You think. I think the first thing we popped in our minds is Under Armour, right? You remember those great commercials in the 2010s, lock in, protect this house. I remember those, but other than that, not a lot of memorable moments for Maryland football.
It looks like a place that could use a new stadium, honestly. We're looking around when you just talk about resources and what you're competing with in this league. This is a pretty old school stadium. It's very steep. It's all metal bleachers. So not entirely sure that they're getting the same resources here that other Big Ten schools are getting when you look at this football program, and that's ultimately usually what plays out on the field. They've popped up a little bit. They've been better, Cody, offensively in the last couple of years than defensively. You see the same with this team?
Yeah, I think so. I think Billy Edwards Jr., their quarterback, is playing at a high level right now. He's coming off of his worst game statistically a week ago against Northwestern, but overall he's been playing some good football this year. 1,700 yards, 11 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions, 3 rushing touchdowns, so I'm not going to label him as a dual threat. They do have a good running back in Roman Himby, but Edwards can take off when needed. But the biggest thing for me on the offensive side of the football, they're 13th in the country in passing offense. They have over 300 yards per game, but we have to key on Ty Felton today, their receiver. He's a red dot player of the week for me, a guy that you put the red dot pointer or the laser pointer on in the film room saying this guy can disrupt the game plan. The last 2 weeks, we've seen Tyler Warren. The week before that, we saw Darius Taylor at Minnesota. This is another player in Felton who has 55 receptions, 719 yards, and 5 touchdowns. They can dictate the outcome of the game if we don't handle him today.
Yeah, and Sua, in this league, we haven't seen the cornerbacks tested a ton. There were a couple big plays given up in the Wisconsin game, and then last week, obviously, the tight end ate the Trojans up, and there was, Aller threw for over 400 yards, so he certainly passed the ball plenty. But it was not like any one receiver was particularly hurting the Trojans. But this feels like a little bit more of an opponent that we're used to. They're going to air it out, and they've got some playmakers on the outside.
Yeah, I mean, we should be okay. It should be a test. This segment is testing my patience because my ex-fiance is a Terp, and nothing good has came out of Maryland since Stephon Diggs. So I'm not worried about Maryland at all. But Cody is right. Ty Felton is a beast, and they are a pass-happy offense. And they will try to test our DBs. So I'm excited to see what our corners can do because we've been talking about it the last few weeks. Our corners haven't really been tested since the LSU game. They're going to get tested today.
So you don't fear the turtle, Sue?
I don't fear the Terps or getting on the knee. I don't.
Sua, do people know, Sua, that your love of reptiles? Like, how public are you with your reptile passion?
I feel like you're alluding to me getting my face almost bit off by a turtle after we did our little thing.
I forgot about that.
At Heritage Hall.
Yeah.
I love can't make that reference anymore, but I love reptiles. I have a bunch of 10-foot, 11-foot snakes. No diddy. And it's just, there's a lot of things that come with handling reptiles, but today I'm not worried about a turtle. We're having turtle stew today.
What are you seeing defensively, Sean? It seems like the consensus is that USC can, maybe if they're going to air it out, get that passing game going, today's the day.
Yeah, a defense that's really struggled in the air. You look at their passing numbers this year, they're giving up 258 in the air. That's 108th in the country, so that's a struggle. If there's one bright spot, they've created a ton of turnovers.
Yeah,
you're +7 in turnover margin. They've created 14 turnovers a year, 6 fumbles, 8 interceptions. Going into last week, I mean, it was even better until they gave up 4 last week. So, just a really good job of it hasn't been necessarily like beautiful picks, but did more like tip balls and kind of weird, awkward plays where they've been able to cash in there. So, yeah, just a turnover-heavy defense, and you got to be. If you're Bill or Moss, you definitely got to worry about taking care of the ball today.
Yeah, hold on to that football today. We saw that doom the Trojans on the road a couple times this season. All right, stay tuned. We got a big picture topic. We're halfway through the season, so we'll give out some grades next on the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti.
Hey, Trojan fans. Celebrate every Trojan win and enjoy the sweet taste of victory with a free donut at Ralph's the day after the win. Download your digital coupon from the Ralph's app to score your free donut at any Los Angeles area Ralph's store. It's our way of saying thanks. 1 free donut per customer with digital coupon available the day after each Trojan victory while supplies last. Ralph's, fresh for everyone and proud partner of USC Athletics. Fight on.
It's almost time for kickoff, and the only thing missing in your game day plans is a refreshing drink. With 15% alcohol by volume and a colorful collection of fun flavors, BuzzBalls are the perfect ready-to-drink cocktail for every moment of the game. Try the rich Choco Chiller, zesty Lime Rita, spicy chili mango, or discover your new favorite flavor. Cheer for your team with a cocktail you can count on to taste like a winner every time in just a matter of seconds. Find your go-to play and buy BuzzBalls today. BuzzBalls, a proud partner of USC Athletics. Please enjoy BuzzBalls responsibly. BuzzBalls, Carrollton, Texas.
Let's face it, nothing makes you look older than you really are than thinning hair. But what if you could not only increase your hair count, but promote new hair growth without surgery, without drugs with potential side effects, and without a prescription from your doctor? Well, now you can, thanks to a breakthrough new supplement called Hair Grow, provided by New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Europe. Hair Grow is now available in the U.S. Only Hair Grow contains Tocogaya, a powerful antioxidant that has received a U.S. patent. Multiple clinical studies show Hair Grow is safe and effective in promoting new hair growth. In one study, 95% of the patients using Hair Grow saw increased hair count. Don't lose more time and more hair. Try hair growth today to feel and look your best. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or in stores at your local CVS. Look younger and feel more confident with Hair Grow by New Nordic at NewNordicUSA.com, or in stores at your local CVS.
You're listening to USC football on the home of the Trojans, 710 ESPN. Fight on.
Back live in College Park, Maryland. Jordan Moore, Sean Cody Kessler, Sua Cravens with you on the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti. We are just about an hour from kickoff here. Look, we are high above the stadium, looking down on this turf field. Trojans special teams out there in their road white uniforms. Let's now get to the Cardinal and Gold Report.
It's time for the Cardinal and Gold Report.
The Cardinal and Gold Report.
Presented by Pechanga Resort Casino, proud partner of USC football.
Halfway through the season, let's give out some mid-season grades, and I know they might not all be spectacular given the record at 3-3, although certainly the Trojans have been competitive and then some in every single game. So also nothing has been particularly bad either. But let's start on the offensive side. Sean, where do you grade it? And I think ultimately graded to compared to your expectations going into the season. Maybe not necessarily graded to compared to the 2005 offense.
So you want me to change my grade scale right
no,
now?
I'm just
Right
saying.
before we start, Jordan.
I have
Just
to
trying
have
to-
grades
just trying
ready,
to
and now
put
you
the
want to change the whole question.
You know what? You do what you want to do. If you could just explain it to people how you're grading, that's fine.
I was basing off just scoring numbers for offensively and defensively. I'm just going to go off the numbers. Yeah, you're 42nd in the country as a scoring offense, and if you're a Lincoln Riley offense, I don't think that's where it should be, and I don't think he thinks that's where it should be. So I'm going C+ on offense right now because a lot of good things have happened. Woody Marks and development of him and the running back and Quentin Joyner. I think Miller Moss has gotten up to a good start. Yeah, but just not good enough up front, and then finding a number one I think has been a struggle too.
Sua?
I'm not going to be too harsh. I would say I would give it a 70, like 2%, 73%, just a solid C, just because of the weapons that we have. It's good that you got the pop quiz. You got an A+ on the pop quiz, but when the midterm came, you didn't study and you got a D. So I got to give them a C because we're just not taking advantage of all the athletes we have on the offensive side of the ball.
Cody?
Yeah, I'm going one above Sean. I'm going B-. I'm an offensive guy, so I don't want to be too
of course
critical.
you are.
But, I mean, like Sean said, scoring offense is not good enough. The last 2 years we were third in the country under Lincoln Riley. We've had too many turnovers this year, especially as of late. O-line is getting better, still not where they need to be. And the biggest thing for me is it really doesn't feel like we have an identity yet on the offensive side of the ball.
I think scoring offense is a weird stat for you guys to key on because I think a big issue in the whole season has been fewer possessions, worse field position, and I think that's a big issue when it comes to scoring offense. So I do think there's probably some inside stats that we could take a look at too. But what about defense, Sean?
Defensively, it's taken a step forward, obviously, under Coach Lynn, and it's been a lot better. But where it was at was an F, so that's where you're starting in an F. Even if you go up to a C, and I think that's where I'm going with the defense. It's been about a C for me. You've seen some really great things from this defense, but in some moments where they could have changed the game and changed the outcome of the game, you just seen them kind of fall flat a little bit. So I'm going straight C with the defense because I want to see in the fourth quarter if they can make the plays that really change the outcome of the game.
Sua?
Sean's a tough grader. Nah, if you would have asked me before the Penn State game, I would have gave this defense.
Hey, if you were failing a grade in high school and then you got back to a C, that's pretty good.
I mean, no, you're right. It's passing. It's
C's
passing.
get degrees, as they say.
And how do you think I got through USC? But that's another. I think if you would have asked me before the Penn State game, I would have gave this defense an A-. I feel like they, compared to last year, it's night and day. The tackling, the running to the football, the physicality, especially after the LSU game. I thought we had it figured out in the trenches. But as the season progressed, I knew this was going to be a concern. Injuries, making sure we can go through that wear and tear. And then the biggest thing, obviously, the elephant in the room is we can't get pressure on the quarterback right now, so that brings the grade down. So I would give this defense a solid B.
Yeah, I'm right on there with Sue. I put a B as well. Like they both said, improved drastically from a year ago. 6th place in the country in third down defense. They've been phenomenal on third down. I love that. Fourth down, though, and those got-to-have-it situations, getting off the field to win those games, we have struggled to close out. So we've got to be better there. And like Sue just said, we need to have a better pass rush and get home on some of these quarterbacks we're playing against.
A little more concise here. Give me a special teams.
Oh, I didn't do that one.
You're asking the defensive
Sean.
Sean, didn't you have a game-changing block kick or something too in a big-time game?
Oh, yeah, I don't really count the special teams players. Sometimes I just let Pete carry those segment guys.
I know Cody did his homework. Cody,
right.
you want to walk us through special teams?
Yeah, I did. I have 3 sections on this too. I'm going to go return game right now. I have I got all categories done. You're asking the quarterback who over prepares and he's a perfectionist.
Yeah,
return game.
Do it all in 15 seconds if you don't mind.
Return game. I have it at D right now. It's just non-existent. We have to be able to get some production there.
Yeah.
Kicking C+. I just went off of how Lance has played. 10 of 13, 76%, 77%, and then punting. Though I have A+. Eddie's been phenomenal this year. He's second in the country in punting right now.
Eddie has been phenomenal. I mean, really.
Shout out Eddie.
Up there in the first half stars of the season. Maybe not necessarily what you want, but very Big Ten of us to have a punter as the first half MVP candidate, but he has been fantastic. Before we go to break, let's allow stations to identify themselves here on the USC Trojans Media Network.
Hey, it's Mace, and this is USC football back where it belongs on 710 ESPN. KSPN Los Angeles, a good Karma Brands radio station. Fight on!
X's and O's next. This is the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti.
Hey, Los Angeles and Orange County, tired of being just a number at your bank? Become a member owner of USC Credit Union. Now residents of LA and Orange counties can join the Trojans Credit Union of choice. Enjoy better rates on deposits and loans, plus access to the largest shared banking network nationwide and 24/7 mobile banking. Open your account in minutes at usccreditunion.org. Huddle up for better banking with USC Credit Union, the official credit union of USC Athletics, federally insured by the NCUA.
It takes hard work to be the best in the game. Planning, commitment, resilience, sweat. That's why Old Dominion Freight Line, the #1 national LTL carrier for quality, works hard to be the best in the game and is proud to support those striving to be the best in theirs. Old Dominion Freight Line, official freight carrier of USC Athletics, helping the world keep promises.
USC Trojan fans, Smart Stop Self Storage is ready for game day. Smart Stop Self Storage is committing to making the self-storage experience easy and hassle-free for all Trojan fans. Whether you're storing your Trojans tailgate gear, need temporary storage while moving to a new home, or need a storage solution for your business, we're here for you with convenient locations throughout Southern California. Smart Stop Self Storage, the smarter way to store. Visit smartstop.com to reserve your space today. Fight on. Fight on.
It's time to recharge, reconnect, and rediscover your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino. And with your resort favorites back in action, there's all of the excitement and comfort you love, with the peace of mind you can depend on. So whenever you're ready for a little rest, a little relaxation, and a lot of fun, we'll be here. Play your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino today.
This is USC football on the home of the Trojans. 710 ESPN and the all-new ESPN LA app. Your destination for LA sports. Fight on!
Back on the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti with Sean Cody, Stuart Cravens, and Cody Kessler. I am Jordan Moore, getting you set for USC versus Maryland, a Big Ten battle. This is one of the more random matchups on the USC schedule. We've gotten some really great showcase games so far with Penn State and Michigan. The next 2 weeks at Maryland, home Rutgers are the ones that are a little new and different. We'll see how they play out in front of us. Sean, how's this going to play out when USC has the football today?
I think it's got to be an air attack today, guys. I mentioned that stat, the 108th in passing defense for Maryland. So I think they struggle in the back end. I think something that USC has really got to unlock is this passing attack. We've talked about the running game, them going with Woody and Quentin Joyner. But I think this aerial attack should take strike, man. These young sophomores, time to grow up. You're midway through this season here, and time to be some older statesmen and take those reins as those receivers we know they can be.
So what are you watching when USC has the football?
I would take a play out of Oregon's book and go that fast, no huddle left to right. I want to see if your athletes are as good as ours. I mean, we know we can run the football. I know we've done it consistently with Woody the last few weeks. He's touched 100 yards, but I need to see Zach Branch get the ball and break 1 for 70. I think he needs one for his confidence. I think that we just need to show that we have the weaponry on the outside to where you cannot crowd the box so that later on we can run the ball. But we have not proven we can get the ball out quick and make a chunk play go for about 40 or 50.
What do you think, Cody?
I'm watching the run game today, but also specifically I'm watching Miller Moss, right? I'd like to see us get Woody going. Like I said before, 15 to 20 touches minimum for Woody, 10 carries today for Quentin Joyner. Get this offensive line going in the run game. It's obviously great to have a good run game on the road, but I'm really keying on Miller today as a former quarterback. I want to see how he bounces back after back-to-back losses. I want to see how he plays. I want to see how he leads these guys today and get back in that win column.
Yeah, and I do think this team has a potential number one wide receiver, and his name is Jacoby Lane. I don't sit on that fence. I believe in number 8 and his abilities and his profile matching what I've seen here in the last 10, 15 years, and I would love to see them get him going 100-yard day for Jacoby Lane. When Maryland has the ball, USC on defense, Sean, we're looking at what?
We got to set up camp in the backfield today, Jordan. I want to see some pass rush today, man. This offensive line is not a juggernaut for Maryland. We need some guys in the backfield. Now, I know we've got, Anthony Lucas is out and Eric Gentry, but I need some of these young guys getting after it. I want to see, if Solomon Tuliapupu can get back there, and Braylon Shelby, Devin Tompkins, we see him a little bit, but if he can't get done, we got to just Sam Green. I don't care who gets out there. We need some guys getting in the backfield today and causing some havoc.
Sua?
Got to get a pass rush on the quarterback. They're going to throw the football. They're going to be pass happy. I want to see our corners press. I want to see our corners get their hands dirty, get dominant on the outside, be physical, get some of these receivers out of bounds, because when you press and you knock off that timing, that allows the front seven to get pressure on that quarterback, and the moment he starts patting that ball and playing patty cake, it should be a sack.
Cody?
Yeah, I'm kind of a combination of both of them. Can we get pressure on the quarterback and also stopping Maryland wide receiver Ty Felton? Maryland has given up 13 sacks so far this year, so we will have some chances. It's just about if we can get home with some of these younger players. And then Felton is a game-changing player. He has 55 catches, 719 yards, 120 yards per game. We have to be able to cover this week. And like Sua said, I'd love to see some man press. I'd like to see Jalen Smith follow him around all day, like you see in the NFL, where it says, hey, no matter where
Left
Felton's
to right,
at,
baby.
Smith, go with him.
Yeah, that's where I'm at, too. I want to see what we have at cornerback. I really just have no sense of USC's secondary, particularly in pass coverage, but really the cornerback spot. I like Jalen Smith, but I think most of what he's shown is more in the run game and the physicality of the sport. But this is maybe is a little bit more of a test for these guys, and I'm watching them warm up right now, and I don't see Jacoby Covington. We'll get an update here from Keeley in the next segment, but he was a starting corner up until last week. He was injured, I guess, in the Minnesota game, so he did not play last week against Penn State. They had talked about how he was making good progress and maybe would come back sooner than they expected, but I don't think I see him out there today. So it's going to be a test. And those two guys they brought in, John Humphrey to Carlos Nicholson, those were felt like big gets in the transfer portal. Just haven't seen a lot of either guy. Now the guy's been tested a ton, and so today. Today maybe we get to see the secondary play like, what they'll be scouted at for the next level.
Yeah, and that's what Coach Doug Belk was talking about in our interview. It's just, we haven't had a lot of opportunities to be in these games. Obviously, Drew Aller last week gave us a chance in some passing games, and it wasn't great, so we'll see where these guys are at.
We will check that out and more. We've got a couple more segments to go on the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti. The head coach, Lincoln Riley, is next.
Tommy Trojan is at the 10, the 5, touchdown, USC! Make big plays on the field and in life. With iTrust Capital, you can buy and sell crypto 24/7 with the tax benefits of a retirement account. That's right, invest in crypto with the tax advantages of an IRA. iTrust Capital is easy to use and has no sign-up fees. Don't be a Monday morning quarterback. Make big plays now. Visit itrustcapital.com/USC to start investing today. The official cryptocurrency platform of the USC Trojans. Taxes and conditions may apply. Fees apply. Cryptocurrencies are a speculative investment.
Hey, Trojan fans, celebrate every Trojan win and enjoy the sweet taste of victory with a free donut at Ralph's the day after the win. Download your digital coupon from the Ralph's app to score your free donut at any Los Angeles area Ralph's store. It's our way of saying thanks. One free donut per customer with digital coupon, available the day after each Trojan victory while supplies last. Ralph's, fresh for everyone, and proud partner of USC Athletics. Fight on.
At Audi, what drives you matters. But what you're driving towards matters more. The new fully electric Audi Q8 e-tron. How we get there matters.
Don't let someone else drive off in the Audi model you've always wanted. Visit your Southern California Audi dealer to get behind the wheel of yours today. Or visit SoCalAudiDealers.com for more information.
Introducing Stone Fight On Pale Ale with a balanced blend of hops and a deep golden color as vibrant as the Southern California sunshine. Stone Fight On Pale Ale is brewed to be the perfect companion for the beach, the tailgate, or cheering on the Trojans. Stone Fight On Pale Ale is best enjoyed by holding a can in one hand and raising a V for victory with the other. Find Stone Fight On Pale Ale near you at find.stonebrewing.com. That's find.stonebrewing.com. Stone Brewing is a proud partner of USC Athletics.
You're listening to USC football on the home of the Trojans, 710 ESPN. Fight on.
Back live on the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti, getting you set for USC versus Maryland. The head coach, Lincoln Riley's got your preview here with Keely Orr in this week's Prescription to Win Coaches Interview.
This is your Prescription to Win, brought to you by USC Pharmacy.
Proud partner of USC Athletics.
USC Pharmacy is operated by the USC Man School.
Learn more at pharmacies.usc.edu.
I'm Keely Orr here with head coach Lincoln Riley. Coach, we're 6 games through the season. 4 of those games have been decided on the final drive. I know you would never make excuses, but this is a young team, a new defensive staff, a new conference. It's pretty remarkable how battle-tested your team has been already.
We are very battle-tested. We are. We've been in some fun games, some exciting games, as you said, several of them that have come down to literally the last play of the game. So, and you have to take the positives in that, right? There's a lot of positives going into the back half of the season where you've been in all these moments, and we have to learn from them. We have to be able to continue to do the things we've done well. We've got to improve on, obviously, a few things that have held us back. But, I mean, that you can't replace that experience as a program and as a team. And we got to keep putting ourselves in position to close out these games, and then obviously got to do a better job of closing out some of these here in the back half.
When you look at Maryland's offense, it feels like Edwards and Felton are a dynamic duo. How do you attack them on defense?
Yeah, they do a good job, and they've got a great offensive coaching staff. I mean, Coach Loxley's always been one of the best offensive coaches in the country for a long time. He's got a great reputation. They do a good job of mixing the run and pass game to try to keep you off balance. So it'll be important for us to contain those guys. I mean, you got to do a good job against their run game. I mean, I think that's certainly a big part of it, and then we've got to do a great job affecting the quarterback. You just against guys like this and talented offensive coaches like that, we can't make things easy on them. We got to make everything difficult.
Woody Marks is 4 yards shy of breaking his career high in total rushing yards in a season. How effective has he been in your offense and his work ethic? How has that contributed to that total that he's had?
He's been, real important for us. He's been, a steadying force. He's been one of the linchpins of the offense for sure. I mean, just proud of the way that he's competed every week. He's learned the offense. He's just such a steady player, a steady practice player. He feels like a pro. He's out there every day to work. His mood, his demeanor, his focus never really changes, and I think that's why his performances have been so consistent on Saturdays. So, no, he's been awesome for us, and we'll continue to lean on him a lot.
You talked about the lessons learned so far this season. How do you put that together against Maryland on Saturday?
Well, I think you constantly grow, and all these experiences that you go through, they've got to add up, and the team's got to learn, the individuals got to get better, the groups have got to get better, and then you've got to take confidence out of what you've experienced, how we've learned, how we're going to improve going forward, because we've got more battles coming ahead. And so, but this team is very excited. They're very confident in the way that we've played. We know that we're a good football team, and we've got to go do it for 4 quarters.
All righty, Coach. Good luck, and thanks for the time.
Thanks, Keely.
Thank you to Keely and Coach. We're back live now and back live with Keely Orr. Let's head down to the field for Keely's Best Bites.
Now it's time for Keely's Best Bite.
Keely's Best Bite.
Let's get the sideline scoop and insights brought to you by Postmates. Great restaurant selection and no delivery fee or service fee on eligible orders.
Bite on.
Once again, Best Bites were had here in D.C. by Sean and myself. Keely did not partake. I assume she was postmating back at the hotel with producer Gia. But Keely, what's the injury report say?
So the injury report officially lists Lake McCree as questionable, and that's what we expected given what we heard from head coach Lincoln Riley on Thursday. The interesting news, though, is he is warming up in full pads. He's with USC's receivers, making good cuts. Sometimes when guys have a lower extremity injury, they they don't really trust their legs to make those tight turns and tight cuts in the grass. And so far, he's been doing it. Now, Riley did say it would either be today or Friday against Rutgers, so this might just be a dress rehearsal for McCree, but so far so good for the tight end.
Well, that would certainly help the tight end issue that we talked about earlier in the show. We asked about Jacoby Covington. Is he on that list?
He's not. He was actually listed. He wasn't listed on the list itself, so not sure what that means, but he is not out there so far today. So we will see who we see at corner.
Any other news to report on the injury front?
Not really. I mean, we did hear two major depth issue injuries from USC on Tuesday. First, the fact that Anthony Lucas is out for the season going forward, and then Eric Gentry tweeted on Twitter that he will be out for the rest of the season as well due to concussion. So some big depth hits there, guys, but as far as, questionable, I would just go with Lake McCree for today.
Yeah, and we talked about we talked about some of the young guys that have to step up with Gentry and Lucas down. Kind of a bummer, those guys were such a story of the first half of the season. But you're also liking some of the guys that you're seeing that are going to take those roles on defense.
Yeah, big on Desmond Stevens, and so are the players if you hear them at practice. I always feel like that's a good sign, and you guys can chime in. But we heard from Jamil Muhammad, and he said that play that Desmond Stevens had against Penn State, he was like, he's been doing it every week in practice, and he said, I'm actually surprised he didn't take it to the house. So he's a guy who was impressing all the coaches and players, and that's why he got his time on Penn State. So I hope that we see him more. He's a guy that's definitely intriguing, to say the least.
Yeah, it's a great call, and we had Sam Darnold on the show last week before Penn State, and Sua and Cody. They were talking about that, about, when a guy's just sort of a freshman and comes on, and it's always the teammates that you hear about at first. They're out there on the scout team or it's in camp or whatever, and you're just like, man, this guy's different. Sua, you were feeling that with Darnold years ago.
Yeah, I also told Sam that he costed me a fantasy victory a few weeks ago because he put up 8 points, Sam, but I'm
sure he loved that.
I didn't think he cared.
Yeah, they're 5-0 right now. I don't think he's worried about that.
Yeah, but, next man up mentality.
And I will say, Jordan, sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
I thought that Riley had a glass half full perspective when it came to the depth issues on defense. He said, this is in my career where I've found those shining stars. It's when they get their time when maybe we weren't planning on it or scheduling it, but they're thrust into the spotlight and they respond. And he said they're ultimately going to have to rely on the training that both Coach Henney and Lynn and Coach Nua have done to these defensive guys. So I think he's pretty excited about the young talent that they've recruited and might get a shot later in this season.
And I think it speaks to where the program is at right now as opposed to Lincoln Riley's first year. To me, the beginning for Lincoln Riley was about hitting the portal, and it was just about plugging gaps year by year. And now it seems more about developing players. Those were the type of coaches he brought in, particularly on the defensive side. And now it's these young players. And, yeah, it may not be great today or every single game the rest of the season, but next year and the following year and ultimately some of these guys that are taking the lumps, the future of the Riley era will be determined by how they can develop these guys in the next class and the class before it, over the next couple of years.
Yeah, it's the development piece, and it's been the shining word we heard. The shiny word we heard all offseason was development. That's what it was about, especially defensively. All the coaches they brought in, they all talked about development and developing these guys, and now they're going to get an opportunity to see how the development has gone halfway through the season here. You're going to have injuries. You're going to have guys go down. Who's going to step up, and that's going to come down to how well these guys have been training in practice and how they've come along as the season's gone on.
Can I say
Cody,
something real quick, Jordan?
Oh, please. Is it about your fantasy team?
No, it's my turn to talk.
What is
Sorry,
it?
no, it's a serious. I know I joke a lot. No, it's a serious thing. With Eric Gentry, the whole concussion thing. I'm praying that he's okay. The head injuries are nothing to play with. Speaking from a guy who lived it, I had to put 1.5 years of my NFL career on pause because I almost went blind from a concussion. So, hoping Eric is okay, praying for him and his family, and if they have any questions or need to reach out about symptoms or how he feels or just any way to feel better or to get better, feel free to reach out on my open line, and I'm hoping you get better, bro.
And it absolutely sucks that Eric Gentry is done for the rest of the year, but I'm happy we're at a place where people are getting shut down over things like that if that's ultimately the determination, right?
Yeah,
because it just never would have happened before.
It's just a game. It's just a game, and you have so much life to live after this game, and you're more important than tackling somebody. So I think they made the right decision.
Well, and we talked about that on the podcast earlier this week. That's big from Eric to do that, too, because that's not easy. As a player, you're always
one of your best players.
You're taught to be tough, especially as a linebacker, right? I played quarterback, right? Where we were the prima donnas. We can go off on the sideline and
you were a prima donna.
But the linebackers as a defensive player, easy now. You're taught to be physical, right? You're taught to be tough. You're taught to shake it off and all that. So, I just back up what Suda said. We said that earlier on the show. That's huge for Eric Gentry. It's going to help him with the longevity of his career as well, and it's a smart decision for him and his family.
Well said, guys. Thank you, Keely. We will have one more segment to go. This is the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti.
Now, Two Pigeons and Coach Prime bemoaning the fact you can stream DirecTV satellite-free.
These humans get the biggest college football games on DirecTV, and we don't even get a satellite dish.
Enough squawking.
It's Coach Prime.
Bring it in. Sure, they can get all that college football without a dish, but you still got your passion, your drive, your resolve, your
incredible career as a football icon?
No, that's me.
Stream the biggest college football games. No satellite dish. Visit DirecTV.com.
If your day sounds like
we need the report ASAP.
You deserve Modelo. If you've persevered through, you deserve this rich golden lager with a crisp but refreshing taste. Or if you overcame,
2 more reps, 2 more.
You deserve this ice-cold reward. Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Drink responsibly. Beer imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
Okay, I'm getting lunch delivered. What's everyone want?
Well, I'm gluten-free.
Uh-huh.
Vegetarian for me, please. Veggie guy.
Vegetarian? Got it.
I'm allergic to nuts.
Nuts.
Oh, hey, I'm fee-free.
Sorry, fee-free?
Yeah, I don't put fees into my body. My body is a temple.
Okay, but how do I order delivery without fees?
Postmates. No delivery or service fee on orders over $50.
Order from the best restaurants in LA, totally fee-free on eligible orders over $50. Only on Postmates. Offer terms and exclusions apply. See app for details.
It's time to recharge, reconnect, and rediscover your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino. And with your resort favorites back in action, there's all of the excitement and comfort you love, with the peace of mind you can depend on. So whenever you're ready for a little rest, a little relaxation, and a lot of fun, we'll be here. Play your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino today.
You're listening to USC football on the home of the Trojans, 710 ESPN. Fight on.
One final segment of the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by Yeti with Sean Cody, Sue Cravens, Cody Kessler, Keely Yore. I'm Jordan Moore. Been my pleasure to get you set for this one. Producer G always keeping us on point. Rick Cutler always keeping us sounding good. And thanks to all the guys helping out back at the ESPN studios. And for all of you sticking with us here on YouTube, always fun to do this show. Let's see if we can't get a best in the game pick to stick this week. Here are this week's Old Dominion Freightline best in the game picks.
The best in the game
is brought to you by Old Dominion Freightline,
official freight carrier of USC Athletics,
helping the world keep promises.
All right, Keely Yore, usually I give your pick for you, but I like it. You can defend it yourself. Who you got as your best in the game pick?
I got Woody Marks today. He's 4 yards short of his career-high rushing total in a season, so I had to put my money on him.
Yeah, I didn't ask you guys for first-half MVPs when we did our Cardinal and Gold report, but I think probably Woody Marks would have been first-half MVP. Is that everyone agree on that?
True.
Agreed. Yeah.
What about Eddie Chapliski, baby?
Yeah.
Sean, you didn't want to do special teams 20 minutes ago.
Now he's your
now
MVP,
you're calling out the MVP.
Cody Kessler, who's your pick?
I am going with his backup. I got Quentin Joyner. He's averaging 9.8 yards per carry. I expect him to keep that up today. I need a minimum, though, of 10 carries for Quentin. I had to give Lincoln $100 earlier this week to make sure that happens because I am in full desperation mode to get a win.
Yeah.
Sue Cravens, keep your money. What you got?
I went Mikhail Lemon, and I added a little flavor to his name because he's going to be saucing up defenders today in the slot. I see 2 tubs for the kid.
Sean?
I'm going Zach Branch because Sue Craven said he's going to have a 70-yard touchdown today, so thank you, Sue.
Well, I said that 2 weeks ago and it didn't work, so.
I'm playing the Miller Moss card. It's time to get that passing game fired up. Number 7 is going to have a big day out in the field
Just win,
today.
baby. Just
it's
win.
time for us to get to the action on the field. USC versus Maryland next on the USC Trojans Media Network.
You're You've been listening to the Trojan Tailgate Show, presented by Yeti. Brought to you by
Yeti. We make great gear that helps you stay out longer, travel farther, and live harder.
Pechanga Resort Casino, proud partner of USC football.
Stone Brewing, proud partner of USC Athletics.
And by SmartStop Self-Storage, the smarter way to store.
Visit smartstop.com to reserve your space today.
Only minutes until kickoff. Our USC Trojans battle the Maryland Terrapins on the road